In July 2018, Gravity Falls Lost Legends released. Fans were super excited to have 4 new stories to enjoy from our favorite Oregon town. The release of the book saw 2 variants made. There was the regular 144-page edition with 4 comics to enjoy, and then there was the 160-page edition sold exclusively by US bookstore Barnes & Noble. This copy contained 16 bonus pages with additional content. Then in July 2024, Gravity Falls' next major book, The Book of Bill, released. This time, fans were super excited to have new stories to enjoy regarding our favorite demonic Nacho. Similarly to Lost Legends, the release of the book saw 2 variants made. There was a 208-page edition, and then there was also a 244-page edition sold exclusively by Barnes & Noble that contained 16 bonus pages with additional content. In total, Gravity Falls has had 2 Barnes & Noble exclusives made for it, each similar in the formula of what it does. Both have 16 extra pages, both are only available through BNN, and both were at the center of signing events done by Alex Hirsch. However, I got wondering, for what they offer over the regular versions of their respective books, which one is the best? I should make it clear that this video is not trying to decide if Lost Legends or The Book of Bill is better. Trying to compare the two is not really feasible as both books are about something different. One is a graphic novel focusing on main characters in the show, while the other is a cursed tome of Gravity Falls' main antagonist. My goal with this video is instead to compare both the BNN versions of these books, and look primarily at what they offer compared to the regular version, and see which one does it better. It's not really trying to tell you which book is better, but which one gives you the most for your buck. Are what they offer such that you should buy these books instead, especially if you live outside of the US and these in turn being more expensive to get them, or should you just buy a regular version of the book that would be more easily available? With that explanation out of the way, let's look at both of these books and see which one is the better deal. Starting off in the looks department, let's judge a book by its cover and see what each edition does to try and sell themselves. Starting with the BNN Lost Legends, it looks pretty much the same externally as the regular Lost Legends does, albeit with one exception. There's this sticker on the top left of the jacket that says it's an exclusive edition of the book and includes info on what that exclusive content is. Annoyingly, the sticker is put on the exact same spot as Dipper's cipher wheel symbol is, and that's always been something I never liked about it. But despite that, it is a useful sticker that sells the book in terms of telling you it's exclusive and informs you about what is in it. However, that's all. There's no alteration done to the cover of the book beyond that which would tell you it's an exclusive version. Not even under the jacket on the main book cover itself is there any difference with the original. Moving to the BNN Book of Bill, this version also contains a sticker on the jacket that states it's an exclusive book, but follows more so along to the same design as all stickers like these on BNN exclusive books do. Mine of course doesn't have that, as mine is a signed edition which doesn't come with the sticker because I was likely an online exclusive only and never meant to be sold in store. But I will say though, I kinda in turn preferred the cipher wheel design on the Lost Legends sticker more so to this one. But none of that ultimately matters as the rest of the cover is incredible. Obviously the biggest difference is that it's yellow opposed to the normal book being red, and in turn, it stands out instantly. The detail too is insane. All red text on the book is yellow from the cover to the back and spine. Heck, they go the extra mile and even make the binding of the book match the edition it is, as you can see here. This consistency is continued on the actual book cover itself, with Bill being yellow on there too. It's amazing and without a doubt makes the BNN Book of Bill stand out compared to the normal version, and so, the first point in this round goes to it. I mean, it was pretty obvious that from the get-go. Now, this round looks at how both books were announced and how fans were able to hear about both through the official reveal and PR afterwards. Now, while Lost Legends was announced by Alex Hirsch in 2017 at D23, and formally had its name and cover revealed in February 2018, the BNN book was announced much later. Alex first tweeted about the book on July 19, 2018, 5 days before the release. And while yes, the BNN book was listed a lot earlier than that and was available to pre-order before Alex's announcement, with some people mentioning it, Alex tweeting it likely got more attention and added legitimacy to the listing. And so, him waiting days before the release meant many who may have been able to pre-order it earlier found out it only existed now. Therefore, fans who already had pre-ordered the regular book but could get the BNN one were now probably scrambling to switch their order or plan on going out and getting one in store over the regular one. It was a short notice reveal and in my opinion, should have been announced a lot earlier. Besides fans who got it signed at the one book signing event Alex did at BNN that summer, not much else was said regarding it. The Barnes & Noble Lost Legends had next to no discussion about it or what was in it, and not many fans even remembered it existed. Of course, that may also be attributed to how less popular Gravity Falls was in 2018 compared to now, and with how many GF fans are more focused on shows airing at the time probably, like Star vs. The Force of Evil. Unfortunately. Even so, it's still a shame barely any discussion occurred. On the other hand, the BNN Book of Bill was far better promoted. Alex announced the existence of it only a few minutes after revealing the Book of Bill itself, and given how long we had, this gave fans a lot more time to pre-order it and decide which one they wanted. Plus, while Alex mainly used the normal red book and his Oregon Parks tweets for PR, Barnes & Noble's promoted the book pretty well in that they had custom animations for it, exclusive adverts and reviews, and even a whole Q&A with Bill that was emailed out to people who bought it. Not to mention there were 3 signing events for it compared to 1 with Lost Legends. So it's safe to say that compared to back in 2018, Barnes & Noble and Alex promoted this exclusive version far better. While there were still likely people in the dark about it, a lot more people probably knew it existed compared to the BNN Lost Legends. And so, round 2 again goes to the BNN Book of Bill, putting the score now at 0-2. Not looking good for the BNN Lost Legends to be honest so far, but let's see if round 3 can fix that. Now, when I say price, I'm not comparing the cost between both books in this sense to see which one is cheaper. I'm comparing the cost between it and its standard edition. Obviously being an exclusive edition of the book, you'd think perhaps the price would be a bit higher for this variant as you're getting more content than the regular book. However, if you look at the BNN Lost Legends listing back when it was available, its price is the exact same as the regular version of the book. So while you're getting more content, you're paying the same price for it. And similarly too, the BNN Book of Bill is the same price as the regular, so for that reason, I'll call this a tie and give both books the point. So with that, the score is now 1-3. Now, this is where things get interesting. Availability for both books means how available both currently are to the average fan. If you wanted to get your hands on one, what would it take? Now, already, both books have a disadvantage by being Barnes & Noble exclusives. They're subject to BNN shipping. Now, while someone like me who lives in Canada can get the books easily from them, even though it's a lot more expensive, others can't. And at the time of making this video, the list of countries Barnes & Noble does not ship to is the following. So, if you live in any of these countries, you're out of luck. Your only option at that rate would be to buy a copy from a secondhand seller like eBay. But even that's an issue as eBay sellers have realized how coveted Gravity Falls books are and mark up the prices. Some by reasonable amounts and others not so much. So in that sense, availability for both books would seem to be the same. However, there's one aspect that does cripple the BNN Lost Legends in this round. It's been discontinued. See, back in 2022, the listing for the BNN Lost Legends was removed after a while of the book being out of stock. It seems it's no longer made, and so, even if you live in the US or a country that BNN does ship to, you can't get this book through the official seller. Your only option now would be to buy it off eBay, but even then, it's hard. As mentioned earlier, the BNN Lost Legends has barely any discussion about it and so, wasn't as popular as the regular book was. Given that, eBay listings for it are rare. I occasionally keep track of GF content on sale there and I've seldom seen a BNN book available. And when one does become available, the seller knows what they got and have the prices as high as they can go while still expecting a sale. So if you are after the BNN Lost Legends, finding one these days is a lot harder than it used to be, and only gonna get harder unless it's made again like the coloring book is. In turn, being a more recent and likely better selling book, the BNN Book of Bill is still very much available to buy straight from Barnes & Noble's website and likely will be for a very long time. And if you can't get the book from them, there's a plentiful amount of them for sale on eBay. And while yeah, there are some losers who try to bleed international GFNs dry by marking the price up, if you do enough digging, you can find sellers offering it for a more reasonable price. That said, there have been some fakes sold on eBay, so only buy ones where the seller has actual pics up of their copy instead of just copy-pasting the cover photo. And if you don't want to deal with eBay or risk getting a fake, other sellers like the Mystery Shack store, which ships internationally, does have the B&N book available to buy. Shipping costs may be a bit more, but at least through that avenue, you can be sure you're getting an official copy. So with that said, the point in this round I'd say goes to the Book of Bill, putting the score at 1-4. Now, if this was 2022 when the B&N Lost Legends was still available to buy, I'd probably have called this another tie, but then the Book of Bill didn't exist in 2022, so there's that. But Lost Legends might just be able to take the next round I'm going to be comparing both books on. Now, what I mean by this is where, in the B&N exclusives of each book, is the exclusive content located. The whole point of buying these books is for the bonus content and discovering that compared to someone who wouldn't with a standard book. So, how easily is one able to locate that content in each book? Starting with Lost Legends, the B&N book contains the 16 bonus pages at the very end of it, after the comics. Therefore, they're easily able to be found by readers, and easily able to be differentiated to a regular version. As for content itself, we'll get to that soon enough. While the Barnes & Noble Lost Legends makes its exclusive content easy to locate, the Book of Bill doesn't do that. If you go to the end of both versions of the book, you'll find the exact same ending and pages. There's nothing extra here. In fact, the bonus pages are located in a pretty random part of the book if you ask me. Right after Bill shows off his Horrible Heads collection, you normally would move on to the dream page where Bill talks about the mindscape and various dreams of the main characters. But in the B&N book, right in between these pages are the 16 bonus pages titled More Secrets. In my review of the Book of Bill, I mentioned that this was a clever way to hide the pages in the book and somewhat seamlessly incorporate them into it. And while I do still think that's great, in the context of making the extra content of the book stand out to what the regular copy would have, I don't really think this is the best approach. I mean, I had a lot of people who owned the B&N book mention that they were surprised that these were the bonus pages or didn't even know that they were the bonus pages. So, in a sense, it kind of takes away a bit of the excitement of reading the book and anticipating when the exclusive content would be in it. Heck, I assumed originally that the exclusive pages would be something like behind the scenes pages stuff or a little extra thing here and there and it would be cool to read and put at the end of the book. And while technically it does fit on theme with the way the Book of Bill is written, on purely the basis of ease of finding the bonus pages, I have to give this round to Lost Legends. It just makes the bonus pages a lot easier to notice and find, and as such, makes discovering those pages a lot more enjoyable and memorable. With that said, the score is now 2-4. So really you could kind of say this is a consolation prize more than anything. But we're now at the most important round. We've looked at prices, availability, PR, and more. Now it's time to look at exactly what each book offers, and if it's worth it over the regular book. This is the big one. The whole reason you buy a Barnes & Noble exclusive either of these books is for the bonus content you get that you can't in the regular book. So what are you getting in each? Starting with Lost Legends, we have something called Seuss's Comic Corner with a little text below it saying it's a B&N exclusive. It begins with an introduction by Seuss where he tells us that comics are not drawn by gods but real humans and to check out the rough sketches by artists who worked on this book. From there, we then have pages showing the rough sketches done by various artists who worked on every comic story in the book. For Face It, we have stuff like alternate names for Mr. What's-His-Face, early designs of him done by Alex Hirsch, and pencil sketches of the comics. Comics Up, on the other hand, has similar early sketches of various different comic style pages that we see in the story. Praise to the artist who drew the manga style pages who also did work on Face It and totally wasn't someone who did anything problematic later on, as well as some early sketches and Seuss telling us we're old. Don't Dimension It's behind the scenes pages are probably the most interesting, as alongside the normal rough sketches, we have this page that reveals all the names of the various Mabels we see in Dimension Mabel. So to name a few, we have Planet Mabel, Mabel McFly, Cable Mabel, Pac Mabel, Tall Bell, and my favorite, Invisimable. It's pretty cool to see and adds a lot of charm to that story. Kiki Kid did a great job. Too bad she isn't as good as communicating with people who paid for her commissions as she is with comic art. Finally, the Stan Bros story has some really lovely art that was done by Dana Terrace. We also get some cut pages. The bottom right page shows a cut montage with Stan and Ford going around and messing with the locals while on their search. Following that, we then have a cut scene with the two of them comparing magnifying glass sizes with the sibling bros, and some cut panels from the circus section. Overall, it's super cool to see and just adds a lot of the charm that made the Stan story the best of the four in my opinion. The bit ends with early sketches of Lost Legends cover done by Joe Pitt, including this early version of it which gives off major Scott Pilgrim vibes. So overall, what you're getting in the BNN Lost Legends is a pretty cool bit of behind the scenes work, names for all the Mabels, and of course, cut scenes from some of the stories. It's probably the closest thing we'll ever get to a Gravity Falls art book experience. On the other hand, the BNN Book of Bill's bonus content by comparison, and this may be controversial to say, was a bit meh in my opinion, but still worthwhile in other ways. The More Secrets page begins with Bill telling us ways to reach him, such as through the Fun Phone, a spirit board, burning letters, payphones, and summoning circles. We then get a part about cults and mentions of ciphertology. This of course is important when you begin to look through the tie-in website. We then have a section with various versions of the trolley problem, and then a bit where Bill talks about mind control and tries to sell us the idea of why him possessing our bodies is a good idea. There's then a bit about various holidays that are better than our human ones, and then Bill tells us a bunch of various secrets about the world and such. These range from the existence once of puppets, the fact that Minnesota does not exist, parallel dimensions, secret numbers, menu items, and more. It ends with Bill showing off fake TV ads of products with him on them. Alongside a few codes hidden within these parts, there isn't really much else to see. Overall, while these secrets are a lot of fun to read, and are a great part of the book, I don't necessarily feel like they're bonus material. I mean, considering how many people didn't even realize that these were the bonus bits, they fit more so into the book rather than feeling like being exclusive content that you specifically got this copy of the book to read. As I said earlier, Lost Legends presents this bonus content in a far better way, and you really do feel like you're in turn being presented with something that you specifically got this version of the book to experience. Bonus behind the scenes content in that regard is pretty solid. If these bonus pages were in the regular Book of Bill, I don't think most readers would even notice. The More Secrets name of the page hints at that, but then there's also mentions at the start of the Book of Bill that Bill is going to tell us the secrets of the universe, so most readers probably wouldn't even notice the difference in that regard. And speaking of that, there's no mention of the bonus pages in the table of contents of the BNN book, and the material in it like the ciphertology page and TV ad stuff is the exact same stuff that's also on the website. So it doesn't really feel like much consideration was put into these bonus pages as was with the rest of the book. Now, I do think there is a valid reason for that, and it's that Alex Hirsch probably didn't want to gatekeep any major info or lore for the show to only Gravity Falls fans who could buy the BNN book. So, he gave it bonus content that, while cool, isn't really stuff that is game-changing or lore important, it's just some random extra secrets Bill had to offer. Similarly, for that reason, the BNN Lost Legends bonus pages are behind-the-scenes stuff that they already had on hand. It wasn't home to any bonus new comic or something as to not leave fans who couldn't get it in the dark. I mean, that's in turn why, despite the PR, you don't really hear anyone talking about the bonus content in either of these books. Heck, the same could be applied to the most exclusive Gravity Falls book of all, Journal 3 Special Edition. Think about it. When have you last heard someone discussing anything that was found only in that book that wasn't in the regular Journal 3? Likely not much, as there really wasn't anything major revealed in the Journal 3 SE that wasn't already in the regular book. And while yeah, that has been a controversial point for fans who do own it and feel that there should have been more major exclusive content in it for the price point they paid, which is cheap to be honest nowadays compared to the secondhand value of this book. However, this does mean that for fans who couldn't get it in 2017 or don't have $5 billion in the bank to spend on one off of eBay, they aren't really missing out on anything major. So overall, the point of the matter is that while both the BNN Lost Legends and Book of Bill contained exclusive content in them that was fun to read and made buying them worth it, it wasn't really anything major to write home about or changing anything about the show's lore. Now, originally speaking, I was going to give this round to Lost Legends as I feel its bonus content is a lot better and more my kind of content to want to see in an exclusive book, as I enjoy behind the scenes content a lot. But then, I'd be lying if I said I didn't find the more secrets pages in the Book of Bill to be a funny read, even if He Said Minnesota does not exist, given one of my favorite YouTubers to watch lately is from there. So, I'm going to give both books the round, and as such, the score is now at 3-5. I think it's safe to say that even with the comeback, the Book of Bill has pretty much won the whole event. But in the spirit of these books having bonus content, there is one final bonus round I want to look at to end this whole thing off on. Every Alex Hirsch written Gravity Falls book has some version to it with collector's value. Of course, Journal 3 had its special edition, which is the most notable collector's item for that book and of the whole show. But what about these books? What collectible value do they have? Lost Legends BNN version is a harder to find copy of the book, and given how rarely eBay listings for it pop up, it's almost impossible these days to get your hands on one unless you get lucky and buy one when one goes up on there, or you know someone who has a copy and is willing to let you borrow it, sell it, or give it to you. Given that, the collectible value of the book is high, though demand is not really that much, given how lesser known of a book it is and the bonus content not really being something every fan would be after. That said, the BNN Lost Legends, as far as I know, have one factor to them that make them pretty collectible in my opinion, besides the bonus content. From about 2019 and onwards, newer copies of Lost Legends stopped having the character resembling Slenderman appear in it. This was something that Lost Legends was notable for having at the time, and was something that a lot of fans were happy to see. But in later copies of the book, he's been replaced by this similar looking creature with a mouth, red suit, and no tentacles. The exact reason for the change is unknown, but many speculate it was for copyright reasons, as after 2019, the company that owned the rights to Slenderman split up, and the ownership is sort of in question now, and Disney likely didn't want to take any chances with whoever now owns it. Also, side note, a lot of people have commented on my shirt about this, saying that Slenderman was removed from Lost Legends due to the 2014 incident surrounding the character instead. For the record, that happened in 2014, and Lost Legends came out in 2018. If that was ever an issue to begin with, Disney would have never approved the usage of a character even resembling Slenderman in the book. So that's not the reason for the change, it's very likely copyright. But anyways, despite this change, the BNN Lost Legends apparently kept Slenderman in his original design right until the book was discontinued. I got my copy of the book in 2021, and as you can see, the original Slenderman is still in it, even though by this point, he was removed in regular copies. So this little change may likely add value to the book, given fans or collectors may want to have the original version of the book rather than the updated one. But then, even so, let's be real for a second. When it comes to collectible value for these BNN books, the Book of Bill has the ultimate trump card. The signed edition. As you know, the BNN books had their own special version, which was signed by Alex Hirsch himself. These versions, on top of the 16 bonus pages, contained an extra 17th page at the very start of the book on which Alex Hirsch's signature is. And if knowing they're signed by Alex himself isn't enough, he's also confirmed that he only signed a little over 8,000 of these.
And because me and Mickey are such good friends, and Mickey has done so well for me, I said, yes, Mickey, I will sign 5,000 of my upcoming books. Not only that, I'll sign 8,000. Screw it, I'll sign 8,000. So I did.
Which in turn means that there's fewer of these signed versions of the Book of Bill than there are Journal 3 special editions. Add that to the fact that the regular BNN editions are sold for a lot secondhand, and the collectible value of this book is through the roof right now. And with that, the Book-a-Bill wins the final round and overall event, bringing the score of this whole thing to 3-6. I think even before this video began, you all probably knew the BNN Book-a-Bill was gonna win this. So then, why did I make this video if the answer was clear from the start? Well, it's simple really. To show how far we've come since then. Gravity Falls book releases have come a long way from when Journal 3 and Lost Legends were released. Besides Journal 3 getting some PR thanks to Cypher Hunt, back then, the PR was a lot less interactive with fans, announcements like the exclusive book were made very last minute, there were only a few signing events, and overall, hype died down pretty quickly. I mean, I still remember the hype for Lost Legends was already over before the summer had even ended in 2018, despite the fact that there were still so many things to theorize and discuss in it, as well as stuff that was found in the box set that still hadn't been discussed. But this time around, Alex and his team have done a far better job at handling the release of the Book-a-Bill. They announced the book with a massive fan interactive event using Oregon Parks and promoting it before release day 2 through it, announced the exclusive versions earlier on, held more signing events, and overall, created enough content for fans to eat and dig through that the hype has lasted well past the summer and even is still ongoing. Gravity Falls is in a whole new wave of popularity again to an extent that it's not seen since it ended, and that in turn means that merch like these books continue to be popular and garner more and more sales. And that's good, because any potential new GF books, or even content for that matter, is reliant on Disney seeing that there is still demand for Gravity Falls. I mean, as I always say in these videos, don't expect Season 3 or some continuation in that form, as Alex has said far too many times that he's not gonna make that, and it's never gonna happen. But who knows what he may be interested in cooking up once he can. So overall, this video isn't so much a duel between the Barnes & Noble exclusive Gravity Falls books, but more so a way to see how far we've come since then. That all said, I do highly recommend the BNN Lost Legends if you can find it. It's so worth the read, and the behind the scenes art in it is amazing to look at. Like I said earlier, it's the closest thing we'll probably ever get to a GF art book. And truth be told, if Alex does get a chance to make another Gravity Falls book as he said he's wanted to, I really do hope that the book that he pushes Disney towards making is that one. It would be the ultimate item to add to my ever-growing book collection for Gravity Falls. I mean, come on! Like, we're getting the Amphibia art book soon. We've gotten the DuckTales art book. Those are some of the best books are out there. Like, I'm so happy that those shows got an art book, but come on, Disney! How are you not yet realizing this? Like, it's so obvious. Come on, whoever you are there at Disney who's in charge of this stuff. Do the right thing, give Alex Hirsch the chance, and make that damn Gravity Falls art book! But with that said, that's the end of this video. I've been that GFN, and thank you for watching. I'm now gonna go have a cup of tea.